spine long. You might be able to stretch through this left hamstring if it's too intense. Bend your left knee a little bit.
Ouais, peut-être que tu as des autres options tu sais, à la place de .com qui pourraient aussi fonctionner.
It has been ransomed, it has been bought. Some websites, including GoDaddy, allegedly. Hello cookies, it's Siri, I am back and today is the second episode of my Business Diaries series. This is filmed 3 days after the first episode and I am wearing a gym t-shirt. I did not go to the gym, it's just that I really need to do some Pilates stretching after sitting at the desk more than 14 hours a day and I'm feeling so stiff. One of the ways I found to motivate me to actually stretch is to have the mat already out and to have some type of stretching outfit on so that I have no excuse not to stretch.
Overhead as much as you can, keeping your spine long. You might be able to stretch through this left hamstring. If it's too intense, bend your left knee a little bit and really focus on this low back. You should really get a...
But before that, as usual, I have to eat and I have some oat porridge with homemade caramelized organic apples. I'm so proud of them. I also have some caramelized Brazilian nuts and walnuts with date syrup and big salt grains. And then some soya granules that are 70% protein. They're dark chocolate and unsweetened from the brand called Vetain. I am not sponsored by them, but I use their products a lot. I wanted to buy my domain name live with you cookies, as in live in the video. I thought it would be a very exciting moment and it would be so happy together and I would go, yay cookies, I have my domain name. A domain name is basically www.cookies.com or Leica.com or Erie.com. It could also be .net, .org. It's basically the website's name and I am saying that not to cookies playing to you, but because I did not know those things really before all of this, as in I heard of the word or the concept, but I have never dug deep into it. And so that's what I'm saying it now. For those of you that are or were also like me and not super into web dev lingo and web dev words or web dev concepts. So let's look back at 3 days ago. I'm quite upset, cookies. I am looking into buying my .com domain name. Every time I looked into it for the past couple of weeks, it was at $5-6 a year and now it's suddenly at more than $2,000. Apparently it's because someone might have bought it and is selling it way more expensive. The only people that I have told the name of the company to are people that are around me, as in not so many people. The .com looks more professional and I have no idea why now it's at over 2,000. Let's call Sebastian.
Hello.
Hi Seb.
Yeah.
I am super upset right now and just so you know, you are recorded as well for YouTube on loudspeakers. I am trying to get my .com domain name with the cookies and I have checked many times in the last couple of weeks. It was at around 5, 6, 7 euros at most and now everywhere it's at more than 2,000.
So what you mean is 2,000, like the registration price or?
Yes, per year, instead of 6 or 7 euros as it was before when I googled. I wanted to settle this today. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I should do.
I mean, have you checked before, like the whole process until you got to a price point, or?
What do you mean?
I mean, now you check what? How?
On all the domain providers, I checked on Porkbun, I checked on GoDaddy, I checked on Namecheap.
Allô?
Allô man, ça va?
Tranquille, et toi?
Non. En fait, je suis en train d'essayer d'acheter le domaine .com de ma société et apparemment quelqu'un l'a déjà acheté et est en train d'essayer de revendre ça pour $3,000.
Ouais, peut-être que tu as des autres options, tu sais, à la place de .com qui pourraient aussi fonctionner.
Ouais, mais .com, c'est celui qui a l'air le plus professionnel. Je sais pas, qu'est-ce que tu prendrais, toi, à la place de .com?
Bon, laisse-moi checker, hein. Ouais, .net, ça fait un peu vieux, je trouve.
Oh.
.io, ça fait un peu plus start-up dans la tech. C'est assez populaire de nos jours, mais...
Fast forward to today, I could not get the domain name that I wanted. So if I wanted the domain name Laika.com, it was taken from me. And I learned from Reddit that allegedly it has been ransomed, it has been bought. Some websites, including GoDaddy, allegedly, according to a lot of people's comments on Reddit, they have some type of tracker. So if you look at a domain name too long, if you look for it too many times, they have an automatic system, either bots or a system that by the domain name, they know that you're extremely interested in it, and maybe you would pay the hostage fee, the ransom to purchase it. I had no idea about that practice. To me, that is so unethical and so shady. It is easy money to steal someone's preferred domain name and hope that they will just spend all the money to purchase it because they really, really want it. I was sad, and therefore the Reddit post, and there were so many people who were super supportive. I have more than 200 responses under that post. I think 99% of the responses said that the domain name doesn't really matter unless it's extremely long. And of course, it would have been nicer to get a domain name that I wanted, but it's not the end of the world and I could just pivot. And thanks to those people, actually, I realized that it might be a good thing to pivot. So I'm changing part of the company's name, buying the domain that matches that company name. And according to some people on Reddit, for the SEO, for people to find my website, it might even be better. Of course, it would have been nice to just get Laika.com. That is not the domain that I wanted to get. It's probably taken instead of LaikaCompanies.com, for example, which makes it longer, or Laika Plumbing. But then again, people say that if they're looking for plumbing services, Laika.com would not have helped, while Laika Plumbing is probably better. I have no idea, but I'm choosing to pick the positive comments and the positive feedback that I have gotten from Reddit and accept that that domain name is gone. My brother told me that someday when the company is very successful, I can purchase the domain name back, but I do not want to reward such behavior. I do not care if they put down the price to $50 or if they make the price up to $20,000, it doesn't matter. I do not care if someday I could actually afford that price. I never want to reward such type of behavior because it's dishonest money. You have not put any effort, you have not put any work. You just have the initial money to buy a domain name for $7 and then you're like, yeah, I got your domain. If you want it, you have to pay for it. That is such a lazy, parasitic way to make money, and I never want to reward that. It's time for your favorite segment. Well, I hope it's not your favorite segment and you're not watching my series just for this part. But if you're watching my series for this part, the game of the day is The Lord of the Rings, The Third Age on Game Boy Advance. Set during the iconic events of the film trilogy, The Third Age on Game Boy Advance is a turn-based strategy RPG that drops you into the heat of Middle-earth's most brutal battles. Remember the word brutal. You command small squads of heroes and soldiers, moving them across grid-based maps in missions that closely mirror the war against Sauron. Yes, I just said that with a French accent, deal with it. With permadeath, scarce healing options, and way too many enemies, that is so unfair though. Why do the enemies have so many units? The game demands someone who likes to suffer. It's fun to play as familiar characters from the movies like Aragorn, Eowyn, Boromir, Faramir, Legolas, and Gimli, who is shockingly strong, by the way. I highly recommend training Gimli up early. While everyone's been diving into the new Tales of the Shire, A Lord of the Rings game, which doesn't interest me much, and Miss Bubble's review convinced me even more I have no business checking it out, I have been absolutely whipped by the Third Age. It's a brutally difficult game, unforgiving, turn-based strategy at its most intense. I love strategy games. I love the Lord of the Rings universe, and I have been rewatching the movies lately for comfort, which makes playing this game extra immersive, but also nerve-wracking. It's tough cookies. I don't even know at this point if I love it or if I'm just a hostage, somehow hoping I could finally finish the mission I have failed a dozen times. The second disaster that happened was that I was working on my About Us section. I was working on it for 2 days straight, finishing very late for me, 8 p.m. plus. It did not turn out well at all. It was crazy on the iPad and on the phone. When I was checking the previews, I mentioned it in the first episode as well, that it just went cuckoo bananas and I had to trash the whole thing. I could have tried to continue and fix it, but from having the same kind of struggle on the main page, I knew that I would spend 2 weeks trying to fix it and there was no way to fix it, so I just pivoted again. And now I have an About Us section that I am so pleased about. I love it way more than my home page. It was much faster to do because I cut my losses much faster than with the home page. With the home page, I struggled for weeks and weeks. Sebastian even tried to help me. I did not want to let go because I felt like with enough perseverance and grit, I could just get to where I wanted to go. And with the help of YouTube videos and forums, nothing really worked at all, and I did all the right things. And so I recognized the same patterns of problems and issues and things warping and changing shape every time you close and open the window, or when you open the iPad version or the phone version. And I thought, you know what, I had the same issue weeks ago. It took me 4 weeks to pivot and learn that this was a waste of time. I'm going to pivot now before spending more than 2 days. And it worked, it paid off. Sometimes it's good to pivot. Maybe it's a good thing that I did not get the domain name that I wanted, and it's a good thing that I struggled so much with the homepage so that I knew I had to pivot quicker with the About Us and not dwell on it too much. To be fair, I was quite sad in the past couple of days because 1, I did not get the domain I wanted, and 2, my About Us was just trash. I also had another issue with registering my company, but that will be in episode 3, where I had been waiting and I thought they had said no because it's suspicious that I grew up in Madagascar, which I am used to because if you grew up in certain countries with bad passports, you look suspicious. But I shall update you on that. There I also had thought about pivoting again and then re-pivoting back. You have to follow the next episode if you want to see that. Cheers cookies, bye!